Greetings all, I am Seminary Scholar, and this is my channel where I discuss the beliefs of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. To preface, I have attended the Church's Seminary and Institute programs, and I am striving for accuracy in these videos. I am not, however, an official representative of the Church, so if you want to see their first-hand material, please check out my links in the description where I have my sources, or else you can check out their website for yourself at churchofjesuschrist.org. Hi everyone. When I was trying to come up with topics for this week, I thought it would be really interesting to kind of move along with what we're studying in our church's Sunday school curriculum. And that would be the modern history of the church. These are events that relate to the prophet Joseph Smith and the modern establishment of our church. But I realized pretty quickly that there's some background information that you're all going to need to really understand and grasp how we feel about these events and what we believe these events represent and what they are. So today I'm going to give you the really big piece of background information that will be important for you understanding the events of what we in the church call the restoration of the gospel. And this big background piece is called the Great Apostasy. And I'm just going to kind of break this down, explain what an apostasy is, and then explain what the Great Apostasy was. So an apostasy is an instance where any person or group of people are separated from the guiding influence of the church. This can be voluntarily, people leave the church, or it can be due to circumstance. Global apostasies have happened throughout the history of the church in ancient times, throughout the Old Testament. There was a particularly long apostasy that happened between the end of the Old Testament and the beginning of Christ's ministry. And that was the break between Malachi and Christ's ministry, which spanned about 300 to 400 years, in that range. And after that, Christ obviously came and he established his church and the tenets of that church. And he also established a structure, which I talked a bit about in an earlier video about the structure and responsibilities of the church, but he established his church, and it had an organization, and it had a form, and it had priesthood authority that he gave to his apostles and his disciples to use and direct. But then, as we all know, Christ was killed, and the apostles carried on with the church for a while, but eventually the persecution became very heavy and harsh, and all of the apostles were killed as well. And we believe that when this happened, the priesthood authority was lost. I should caveat, we don't believe that all of the apostles were killed, but that's a later story. You can find out more about that if you stay tuned in for the restoration videos, but the point is, the priesthood authority and the structure of the church was destroyed. And then later on, Christianity became more popular, but the people who were trying to reform it were only working with the leftover bits and pieces of what had already been destroyed. They were trying to fit together things that they knew, things that they'd been taught. They took old texts and they interpreted them. Sometimes things got cut out or pasted over what had been taught. There was a lot of confusion, and while a lot of good remained, there was also a lot of good that was taken away. And so the world as a whole no longer had access to a prophet or to the guiding influence of an organized church that could issue doctrine in the name of the divine. And we believe that this continued right up until, I want to get the year right, 1820. And that is going to be the subject of next week's video. Stay tuned if you are interested in hearing how that turns out. Subscribe if this seems like something you enjoy, and I hope you all have a great week.